Welcome to the Six Figure Business Mastery Podcast, where every week, Kirsten and Jeanne dive into the essential topics to fuel your business growth. From copywriting to course creation, mindset to video marketing, they've got you covered. Tune in for expert guest interviews on all things marketing and business, and learn how to work on your business, not just in it. So, get ready to unlock your business potential and take it to the next level.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our newest episode. We are absolutely thrilled and excited to speak to Kaneshi Hart. Her business name is Coach Up, and she helps coaches make their first six figures in their coaching business through the power of podcasting by delivering strategies to achieve the milestone from coaches who've already done it. And actually, Kirsten has been a guest on her podcast. So we are thrilled to have you, Kaneshi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, ladies. I'm super excited to be here. I'm very much looking forward to getting into the conversation and hopefully providing some value to your guests.
Oh, I have no doubt you're going to bring a ton of value because I know we always have the most interesting conversations. And I know we're going to start this off with you talking about how people can use data to make more sales. I am so excited to learn more about this.
Yeah, so the fun thing about what I do is because I get to interview amazing coaches, such as Kirsten, who has been on my show, I learn these strategies from them. And so I want to make sure I give credit to my coaches who I have learned this from. So I'm going to tell you about a couple of strategies. So there's two of them. So the first one, this one from Sarah. So you know how we talk about especially coaches. So I work in the field of coaches, and there's a transformation, there's a promise that you're delivering, that you're offering to your potential client. I can do X for you. I can help you do X to Y. And so that transformation can sometimes sound a little vague. I can help you grow your business. I can help you scale your business, right? If you say to six figures, that's definitive, but oftentimes I can help you improve your marketing. But too often that's left with not clarity. And Sarah teaches how to provide clarity so that you can share and you can sell in a way that people say, I want what they have because I understand exactly what I'm going to get. Specifically, instead of saying, if you're a coach and you're helping people you're an executive leadership coach, and you're helping individuals to present better. And you say, I can help you improve your presentation skills and your presence. Okay, great. But if you say, I can improve your presentation skills and your confidence in presenting and effectiveness by 77%, Jeanne, are you going to go with Coach A or Coach B?
I'm going with the 77%.
Right? Right. I know for sure. But then the question is, okay, how do you do that? How do you measure that? So Sarah teaches that what you do is you have to do intake forms. And I imagine there's not a ton of individuals who do this, but intake forms at the beginning, middle, and end of your time and coaching and work with these individuals. This can apply to any kind of business, right? But I'm coming from a coaching standpoint, that's the world that I live in. At the very beginning of time with a client, you do a survey. Right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about your presentation? Right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would somebody else rate you, right? And you can get that feedback from other people who've seen you. But in some shape, form, or fashion, you have an intake form that's a survey that gives you numbers where you're going to rate yourself, your confidence, how you feel about it, how other people see you in that skill set. Then halfway through, when you are enacting, you're putting to action, you're implementing the coaching that you're getting, you do another survey, same numbers. Do we have improvement? And then at the very end, so if it's a 12-week program or a 6-month program or a 4-week program, you do another one. You do that with all of your clients. And now you have a pool of data that says, from my clients, I take them from typically they're around 10-15% to 77% presence, confidence, effective presentation skills. And it's backed by data, and that is sellable.
That is amazing. Yeah, and I love the idea of the intake forms and that you continue to do them. We have a lead magnet called Double Your Income with a Marketing Virtual Assistant. And on our intake forms, we are, of course, even in our sales calls with them, we are talking about where they are with their income now, where they want to go, because you've got to really reverse engineer that and figure out what is it going to take to make that happen. So yeah, I love data, and I love that you're helping them quantify it, because it's so important to be able to let that person see their development, their growth, because that person is going to be your raving fan, because now they can go out and say, oh my gosh, this coach, like they promised me that I would improve my sales skills by 77%, but I actually got to 80%. Like they helped me. And that is so awesome. I love that process. It's brilliant.
And it's so simple. It's not complex. It's not overly 10,000 steps. It's just 3 steps, just set up properly. Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Sarah.
I know, right? Yeah. And the thing I love about it is the fact that it's easy to implement. Like you said, 1, 2, 3, right? And it also gives your business more credibility. It sets you apart because you guys deal with business owners on a regular. How often do you hear in someone's offer a data-backed solution that they're offering work in their offer?
Yeah, and I think that Mr. Mustache, Alex Hormozi, I think he talks a lot about that in his book, The $100 Million Offer. Is that correct? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so smart, so smart. That is brilliant. Anything else to add to that concept before we move on to one of the other amazing ideas you're going to bring to the table?
No, I think we'll keep that one simple. And I checked my notes. I did not leave a coach off. That was all Sarah. Okay.
Awesome. Good job, Sarah. We appreciate you. All right. So let's talk about your next concept and idea for how people and coaches could bring in more business.
So I'm very excited to share this one. I talked with Coach Gary White, and he and I just recently had a conversation and preface why this is going to be so good. Due to his work and what I'm going to share, he actually landed, this action led to him landing a contract with NASA.
Wow.
Nice.
Right. He didn't even know how they found him. He was just serving value. So I say that to say, I'm going to take you back to one of those old school methods that people may or may not have done or may not remember, but it's a good old lunch and learn. And it doesn't seem, okay, how's this really going to grow my business? But I will tell you, from the 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure coaches that I have talked to, live in-person presentations are so powerful. And not only that, but it's the networking that also comes with it. And so there's some components to this that I want to make sure I get across. So one, the value that you bring has got to be off the charts. So when you're doing a lunch and learn, and I'll get into a little bit of the details of how to set that up and connect and make this happen, but the value has got to be off the charts. So you can't go in thinking, I'm just going to share a little bit, a teaser, I'm going to throw out some bait on a fishing hook and hope to hook them and reel them in. No, we're going to share as much value as possible, because we know that most of the time when people are doing business with them, it's because they want to do business with a person. The information is prevalent in our world today. So it's really all about the person. And if you share, I'm going to give you everything I have, the best of it, people will want to work with you. The second thing is the people see the consistency, and we know people do business with people you like, know, and trust. Trust is built over time. And so the consistency of showing up to regularly do lunch and learns for a business or an organization gives you credibility. And then the networking is the powerful part, because, and when we talk about where to do these lunch and learns, it's because you're in front of people typically who are going to be able to provide you the next opportunity to come in to do either another lunch and learn in their organization, or to sign up and get a contract with the company as a corporate client, however that works. But you're in front of people who are now additional connections for you for future business that know and are seeing and are reaping the benefits of your value. How does this work? First, know that I would say go in knowing that it's going to be a pro bono service that you're going to offer. And so the best recommendation that I would say of who to reach out to are a couple of people. One, those corporate clients, if you're in a business and you want to deal with other corporations, and this applies to anybody who's coaches and other people, you want to work with that corporation, ask them to allow you to come in to do a lunch and learn. Know what you're going to be presenting, know what value you're going to, but ask them for that, because then they get to see you, they get to know what you have to offer, doesn't cost them anything, and it's beneficial to their employees. And my favorite part is employees are your best endorsement. So if they want to do business, if you want to do business with this company and the employees love you, they are going to be an endorsement for you to bring you in, right? And as we're talking about building 6 figures, corporate clients are typically going to pay you more than client business to customers versus business to corporate. Second thing is, ask the company, when you do these lunch and learns, you can ask the company to recommend you to other companies where you can do other lunch and learn. We see the network that's growing in here. So now I've provided value. I'm just simply asking, is there another partner that you have or a couple of partners that you have where they would benefit from what I'm offering? I'm happy to do that for them, right? And then who do you speak to when you want to set these up with? HR. So this is the question, Jeannie, Kirsten, I always want to ask, who do you talk to get into the door? Okay, so I'm going to tell you. HR is who you reach out or can find a leadership development manager or leader. That's the other person. If you can find out who is the head of or involved in the employee resource groups, otherwise known as ERGs, those are your three. And a little tidbit that I don't think a lot of times we think about. All of us have friends and family that work somewhere. If you have a friend or a family that may work at a company where you want to get in the door, not to the ERG person, they may not know them, but you can ask them to introduce you to their manager. Just create a connection. Can you connect us on LinkedIn? Can you do an intro on LinkedIn? Or can I come to lunch with you one day and meet your manager? Meet that first person that's next to the person that you know. And then when you create a relationship with them, then you can ask them to introduce you next up. It's a long game, but we all know that warm introductions are so much more powerful and get better results than the cold.
It made me think about a couple of things. So first of all, one of our programs, we really focus on real estate agents. And I hate public speaking. Jeannie loves it. I hate it, which is so funny considering I do so many podcast interviews. But we've been invited into another real estate office to do a training. And so we're going to set that up, and that gives her a reason to fly to Florida, and we'll have some fun. But yeah, I think that lunch and learns are brilliant. You're paying for lunch. But at the same time, I think if you just go in there, like you said, and give a ton of value, it can really pay off. Something that happened for Jeannie many years ago when I first started mentoring and coaching her, we put together a focus group. And in that focus group, this was 17 years ago. We always judge how long it was based on how old her second child is. That's how we remember how long it is. Yeah, so we did a focus group, and it was really about asking business owners, what did they know or think about Facebook fan pages? That's back when Facebook introduced a business page. This is back when LinkedIn was on the scenes, but most people thought it was just a place to go and post your resume. And then this is where the online businesses were both very involved with blogging and email marketing, but a lot of local businesses hadn't even really heard of it or even thought about how they could implement it into their strategy. So we put together a focus group. That led to Jeannie teaching classes on those 4 different topics and sold out. And then what happened there is she taught them how to go do those things. Here's how you set up a LinkedIn profile. Here's how you post on LinkedIn. Here's how you do all this. And then what happened next, Jeannie? Started getting calls for people that wanted, everybody wanted to do it all for.
Yeah, the people who are in the focus group wanted to hire me to do it for them. It's now that they understood it and they understood the value of it, they still didn't want to do it themselves. So those were some of the clients that I worked with. So it was same type of thing as a lunch and learn. But yeah, it was fantastic.
And we still host focus groups on a regular basis when we have something new that we're rolling out, because we think that so many small business owners really miss out on market research. So whether you're doing market research one-on-one with people you're connecting with online, or whether you have the opportunity to do a focus group with a group of people locally or even online, it's a great way for you to learn what people really think about things and how they feel about it and how they explain their problems. But it also is a great way to start packing your pipeline with potential clients. So so we're going to go back to doing some more lunch and learns. We haven't done those in ages. We've got this one queued up right now, but it's definitely something we've talked about wanting to do more of. So I think this was our message from the universe, is that we should really dig into this.
Yeah, and I love it. I love that you guys talked about. So Jeannie, you got clients from it, because that's another thing. Depending on what your service is, you may also get direct new clientele from doing it. To do another training on a call. And on the call is where NASA heard him. He didn't even know they were on the call, and then gets a call out of the blue because he was just giving so much value. But it started, like I said, if I'm remembering right, from the lunch and learn and just the business rolling from there. And then that's why you always give your best, right? You never know who's in the room who may have an opportunity that you could benefit them and they could benefit you. I want to say, one, he was talking about doing it at the Chamber of Commerce. If you're not connected with your Chamber of Commerce, get connected with your Chamber of Commerce. Rotary clubs are great for this. Obviously, whatever corporate company you want to work with. And it doesn't have to be a large corporation. It can be small companies, right? It can be companies that have employees of 20, and you may do a lunch and learn for 5 people. There is so much value there, right? And so don't discount what we may consider a smaller audience to help connect and to help give them an opportunity to share their business with other entrepreneurs. So we were talking earlier before we got on recording about collaborations. This is a great opportunity to present, share value, get really good at doing both of those together, and then connecting with people who you can help their business and they can help yours. So I wanted to give that as a place where people can go and look that up, because most areas in the US, I think larger population areas, have a 1 million cups chapter. So you just have to go look.
Perfect.
The last thing on that is similar to what we were talking about, getting clients from your Lunch and Learn. So I had another coach, her name is Amy Levine, and she actually works for a company, and you guys will not believe this. And then she is contracted with her company through her business to do work for the company that she gets a W-2 from. But that comes from the value that she's shown. And because she had her business when she started going to work for that company, that they recognize, okay, we need this other skill set, and so we have to pay for it. And it's outside the scope of her job. And so I want all of you guys to hear, if you're leaving corporate America, if you're still in corporate America, if you came from corporate America, and you're running your business, go back to your job and ask them to now patronize your business. If it's a fit, it is a good question to ask.
I love that. Yeah, that's so smart. It's interesting too, because if you're going after corporate clients, the company you work for right now should be like the first company you try to go to work for, right? You already know everyone. So
but
smart.
How often do we not?
But I think it has to do with fear, right? I'm leaving the company, I'm starting a business. What if my business fails? What if everyone thinks I'm crazy? What if they don't? I leave the organization and now people just don't want to hang out with me anymore. You have all these weird insecurities, right? Yeah, love it. All right. And so I'm thinking this might be my favorite one, because I feel like Jeanne and I joke, like time management and how to manage our days and our lives is always, we're always busy. So you've got some kind of outsider tips and points of view on how to get everything done.
I do. I've got two. And one of them comes again from Sarah Jolly Jarvis, and the other one is from Kimberly Graham. But I want to ask you two a question really quickly, because this segues into it. Have you guys heard the term corporate residue?
I have not. I'm not a corporate person. I don't play well with others, so I've always been so I don't like being told what to do. So I don't tend to do well with the boss.
I love that. And she's like,
I was in corporate. It was a long time ago, and I've never heard that before. So I'm interested to hear what that means. Doesn't sound very good.
I think it's just a reality that has a name to it that people may not have heard, like you said before. So this term actually comes from Melinda Colon. And what it means is, think about Jeanne in corporate America a long time ago. Kirsten, you had the pleasure of not ever being there, but I imagine several of your audience members have worked in corporate America. And there's a mindset that when you leave corporate America and you start working your business, that you should probably schedule 40 hours a week. I'll even ask you ladies, when you're looking at your schedule, do you have an idea of, I work a certain time to time that's not necessarily based on your meetings, but it's more like, I got to get in 35 hours a week, or I'm going to dedicate 25 hours or 40. Okay, no, I love that y'all are shaking your head. Y'all are ahead of the game.
We get it done when it needs to get done.
Yeah, and I think we got to have that mindset of work hard, play hard, right? If we've got a big launch or something, we might work 60 hours in a week. But then there's a lot of weeks where we probably only work 20, 25 hours a week. And again, it's not about how much time we put in, it's about the results that we get done, which is interesting, because one of the things that we don't do with anyone on our team is use a time tracker, because we manage our team through systems and processes and based on tasks that are getting done. So if someone's very efficient, they get things done faster, that's great. We usually have a leftover list of things they can go and do if they finish their weekly tasks. But for the most part, we want results, not necessarily someone punching a time clock. So we're big on results.
I love that. And so that's exactly what Sarah teaches, because the corporate residue is, I think I have to work a certain number of hours, and then I fill in my task in those certain number of hours because I've been conditioned that I work 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week, or I hear entrepreneurs work all the time, like that fallacy that we step into. And so what Sarah does is she teaches two ways for individuals to manage their time, because as entrepreneurs, so often people can think, I have so much time to get stuff done, we don't get done nearly the stuff that we need to. I forget the name of the person who created this concept, but time, whatever we have to do, the amount of time we give it is how much time it will take. So if I say, I only have 45 minutes to get something done, amazingly, you'll get it done in 45 minutes. Or if you say, oh, I have 4 hours, amazingly, you'll get it done in 5. It's like those papers we wrote in college where you had 2 weeks to do it, and somehow the last 2 hours before you went to class was the time you got that 30-page paper done. In this mindset, what it is, you can do block scheduling or you can do post-it scheduling. So it really, Kirsten, it goes exactly to what you were talking about. For people who like to be more flexible with their time, prefer freedom, don't want to be in the structure, don't want to be hemmed in, you do a post-it note of every task activity that you need to get done. And then you pick 3, 5, or however many you're comfortable with for your day. You put it up wherever you need to put it. And that is how you manage your task, your results, your activity for the day. And it has the visual of a checklist. So I'm a checklist person. We are in good company.
Checklist queen. Checklist queen, Miss Jeannie over there, definitely.
Yep.
Jeannie, do you do stuff and you didn't have it on your list, and so you write it on your list and so you can check it off?
Absolutely.
Yes. So in this case, when you have the post-it note, it gives you the same dopamine effect of, I've done something, I finished it. So I started with 6 post-its, I finished one, I can take it off. Or I take it off and that's the one I'm working on and I can't throw it away until I'm done. But it's such a very simple concept that I loved that she talked about, because at the beginning of the week, however you plan your week, you may do it per month, and you figure out what are those activities that I have to get done. And there's some that are going to be obviously the day by day, things pop up specific to something. But then you also have those legitimate tasks that have to be done every week, every day. If you want to make sales, one must ask people to buy from you. You must make self-call. You must have an automated system that you're keeping up with that is promoting your business, right? Those types of things still have to be done. And so put that on the post-it. And when it has to be done, you pull it off, you check it off, and then you can throw it away. But it provides, like I said, it takes you out of that box, that framework, but you can see your results. You can even choose. Sometimes we put off stuff we don't want to do until the end of the day. And that post-it note gives you that opportunity to say, oh, it's the last one, I'll finally take it, or to avoid it until the end of the day. Whereas like block scheduling or scheduling done by time, write it in, and this time I'm going to do it. It just provides a freer but more effective way of scheduling your time. So that's one. I'll pause.
Awesome.
I love that. I love the visual of having it right in front of you, because what happens to me is, which I think happens to a lot of people, is that I'll start with this and I'll say, oh, in order to do that, I need to go over here and do this. I need to check my email because I have that person's information. Then I'm in my email and now I'm reading all my emails. And then it's like, oh, well, I need to act on that. And then you're all over the place. But if you have that visual, you know what you need to come back to, if you will.
Yeah, Jeannie and I, because there's 2 of us in a partnership, one of the things that we do, and I was actually talking about this on an interview I was on earlier today, is we use Trello. We're going to try to get 4 projects done in January. We'll move those 4 projects over. And sometimes we'll schedule January, February, March, get those scheduled. And then we can move them around easily. But it's so nice when you get to drag it to finish, done.
Yeah, it's like having the sticky notes, because each card is like a sticky note and you can move it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I can say that, 2024, I can say we blew it up because we got sidetracked with shiny object syndrome. Because when we're looking at the whole year, we're looking at these projects, whether it's updating one of our programs or doing an update on a website or whatever it is, creating a new course, realizing that's going to take a large block of time, several weeks in most cases. So it keeps
work hard. And now, if you're not a CEO, okay, that's fine. You can do it in whatever place in your business, but you guys are business owners together, your partners. So this applies to you guys, where you create this report card of measured can be managed. And so therefore it can grow.
Love this. Oh, these are like 3, you definitely value bombs.
I talk to amazing people.
Kaneshi, this has all been amazing, absolutely amazing. So out of curiosity, how can people get in touch with you if they want to work with you? Because you are fabulous.
Thank you. And again, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you again for having me. So the best way to reach out to me is on LinkedIn. So I know is it really? Yes, it is. Love LinkedIn. That is where I am growing. That's where my time and focus is to grow. You can find my podcast on my LinkedIn profile, so you can connect and plug into the podcast there. But it's linkedin.com/ Kaneshihart. It's an A. So that's where it comes from.
Perfect. Love that.
I love
Yeah. But that's where people can reach me, and you can hear the podcast. You can connect with me. If you'd like me to speak to your group or at a conference or a virtual event, feel free to reach out. I do that as well.
Perfect. We'll put all of your information in the show notes. And thank you so much for being here. We have to do this again because what a fun conversation.
This was great. Y'all are wonderful. So easy to talk to. That's always my favorite thing about podcasts. So thank you for being an amazing host.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Six Figure Business Mastery Podcast. If you enjoyed listening to this episode and you are ready to leverage video marketing on all online platforms, or maybe even start your own video podcast, then you need to check out the Done For You and Done With You program at themarketingvaadvantage.com and take your business to the next level.